Hare Krishna devotees. Today we have our special speaker, His Grace Sankarshan Prabhu from Sridham Mayapur. Since Maharaj is in travel, today Maharaj is not giving the session. So we have invited Sankarshan Prabhu. We thank Sankarshan Prabhu for his presence. Thank you so much for coming, Prabhu. Let's begin, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Sakshashurnamalidamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mugam Karodi Vachala Pangulangaya Digirim Jatkripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Meeswaram Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhagale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshinyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha, Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. First of all, I like to offer my respectful obeisances to Maharaj, Holiness Bhakti Vinod Swami Maharaj, and also, of course, all of you devotees. So I'm very sorry to disappoint all of you. So, so what to do? Because Maharaj was in Mayapur for last some 8 to 9 days. So I was very fortunate to have association of Maharaj. Then got chance to serve him also. So then Maharaj asked me to take. Then I was telling Maharaj, this is your forum. So because people likes to hear from you because you always give very exciting and refreshing, enlightening session. So I just reconfirmed. So I'm very afraid, or I'm very fearful to to speak in this forum. Then Maharaj again reconfirmed, no, you go ahead. Because what to do? I'm traveling in a flight. Yeah. So based on Maharaj order and with his blessings, so we can try to discuss. So today is 31st verse from Light of the Bhagavata. Someone likes to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Text 31. The four prominent features of autumn are that there is no water in the sky, the weeds that grew here and there in the rainy season all wither away, the muddy roads and fields dry up, and the ponds of water become crystal clear. These four features of the autumn atmosphere are compared to the four orders of life. In the Varnashram system, the student goes to the ashrama of the master to take lessons from him and serve him, even as menial servant. The troubles of the students are at once mitigated when he attains the transcendental knowledge in terms of his relation with Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. As the white clouds no longer bear the burden of water in the autumn sky, the student finds the troubles of drawing water for the master becomes burdenless job if the student, by the grace of his master, attains to spiritual knowledge. Householders who beget children without restriction, like weeds in the rainy season, become solitary as soon as they attain to the stage of devotional service. The family planning of godless civilization cannot check weed-like unwanted population. People should learn to check sex life by voluntary restraint. This voluntary restraint is possible when one is detailed with the service of the Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Well-situated devotees of the Lord refrain from materialistic sense enjoyment, for they are attracted by the beauty of the transcendent. Forcible restraint by regulative family planning or similar artificial means cannot work very long. One must be attracted by the transcendent. Once can give up the inferior quality of enjoyment as soon as one receives the superior quality of spiritual enjoyment. So family planning is successful when one is engaged in the culture of the human spirit. The vanaprasthas who voluntarily avoid cleaning themselves and who allow their beards and nails to grow no longer feel discomforts of these burdens when they engage in the service of the Lord. And above all, the mendicants who take vow to refrain from sex life no longer feel sexual urges when fixed in the transcendental service of the Lord. Therefore, in all four spiritual orders and four grades of social life, devotional service to the Lord is essential. Without this relationship, all the regulative principles of Varna and Ashrama become burdensome duties, as they have in the age of Kali. When the regulative principles have no aim, the Varnas become a caste system and the Ashramas become the business of various shopkeepers. All these anomalies of the present social system can be reformed only by cultivation of the human spirit in the devotional service of the Lord. Jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So very beautiful purport. So maybe I like to share some PPT, bro. Can I share now? Yeah. So right now in this chapter, we are discussing rainy season and autumn season in Vrindavan Dham. It comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 20th chapter. So very beautiful chapter. And then in the preface, you might have discussed or you might have read how Srila Prabhupada prepared somewhere in the internet in Japan. There was a conference. So Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada prepared his presentation because they like nature, continental people. They like nature. So, and then different sceneries and nature, and then autumn season, rainy season, and different crocodiles and different colors of birds and so many things. Greenery everywhere, greenery like that. So they like very much. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to present this portion of the Bhagavata to all of them. So because beautiful analogy is given for every scene. So I think till now you have discussed about rainy season in Vrindavan. Now we are entering into autumn season in Vrindavan. I think one sloka is over in autumn season in Vrindavan. So this is the second sloka in autumn season in Vrindavan. I think from text number 32 to 49, something like that. In 10th canto, 20th chapter. This is about description about autumn season in Vrindavan. Yeah, text number 33. So which was the 30th verse of in the light of Bhagavata. Today we are discussing 31st verse. So 31st verse is from the 10.20.34. So the 33rd verse. So how it's mentioned, lotus are getting regenerated and restored various water bodies to their original purity. So the analogy also given. How the bhakti also purifies the minds of the fallen yogis when they return to it. So different yogis are there. We know karma yogi, jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi. So we also know what is the cause of bhakti. So bhakti can be produced only by the association of devotee. So if they are fortunate, if they get association of devotee, so then bhakti can be manifested in their heart. So basically, the arrival of the autumn season is compared with the performing devotional service to Krishna. And the lake, the water body is compared to the heart of the fallen yogis or heart of all the living entities. And the lotus is compared to the appearance of Lord Krishna. So this analogy is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So the arrival of the autumn season. So all verses in all of the verses, the autumn season, whenever we hear autumn season, we should immediately understand devotional service. So in this verse also, how devotional service is going to purify all the contamination of all the four ashrams. So as soon as autumn season has arrived, so how the four effects takes place. So this sloka, 31st sloka, that is next sloka. So 34th sloka from the Bhagavata, but from the light of Bhagavata, this is the 31st verse. So this is the exact verse today we are discussing. So I like to chant this verse. Vyomno Brahm Bhuda Sapalyam Bhuva Pankam Apam Malam Sarajjaga Jagarashraminam Krishne Bhakti Yada Subham. So the word to word translation given. Vyomna means in the sky. Abram in the clouds. So clouds in the sky. So Vyomno Bram means clouds in the sky. Bhuta Sabalyam. Bhuta Sabalyam means, Bhuta means animals. Sabalyam means crowded condition. Crowded condition of the animals. So like, and the Bhuva Pankam. Bhuva Pankam means the muddy covering of the earth. Bhuva means earth. Pankam means muddy covering. And Apam Malam. Apa means water, Mala means contamination. So contamination of the water. So these four things. So the four things gets destroyed. So immediately, as soon as autumn season arrives, these four things so gets destroyed. What is that? Clouds in the sky gets destroyed, removed. Clouds in the sky removed, and animals in the crowded condition. They go to their respective places. They are free to move wherever they want. They can go. So during rainy season, they cannot do so. They have to be in one place. And Bhuva Pankam means muddy covering of the earth. That's like a, so how like everywhere muddy covering will be there. So as soon as autumn season arrives, so immediately muddy covering will be removed. So easily can walk. And Apam Malam, during rainy season, how like all water contains all lot of dirt. So the contamination of the water, so the slowly as soon as autumn season arrives, so the dirty nature of the water gets removed. The water becomes more clear, or it gets the dirty particles from the top layer of the water gets sedimented. So the top portion of the water becomes very clear. So these four things, the four effects immediately take place as soon as Sarat season. Sarat season means autumn season. I think in Tamil we say Vasanta Kalam. I think I'm right. So Sarat season. So and then Jagara means removed. Sarat Jagaras Ashraminam. So similarly, the analogy is given. Krishne Bhakti Yada Subham. How there are like a lot of contaminations in all the four ashramas. That is Brahmachari ashram, Grahastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyasa ashram. So all the ashramas have a lot of challenges, and then very difficult to be ideal Brahmachari or ideal Grahastha or ideal Vanaprastha or ideal Sannyasi. So it's impossible in Kali Yuga especially. So of course, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, even in Yudhishthira Maharaj ruling, he was like perfectly, he was overseeing all the citizens following their prescribed duties or not. So even 5,000 years before, the citizens, they could follow. But right now, so like in the Kali Yuga, so it's very difficult to be an ideal brahmachari or ideal grihastha, whatever rules and regulations prescribed for being ideal brahmachari, whatever rules and regulations prescribed for being ideal grihastha, it's very difficult, almost impossible to follow. So, and of course, like during the rainy season, they can't fulfill their duties because rainy season they can't go out. So brahmacharis cannot stick to their duties. Brahmachari means they have to go and pick alms for their spiritual master. They have to collect some wood for the fire. They have to collect some water in a bucket of water, something. So many things, water from the river. So kamandalu, water from the river for some puja, for yajna, whatever. So these things they cannot do during the rainy season. So as soon as autumn season arrives, so they can start performing their duties. So brahmacharis cannot do their duty during rainy season. So that's a contamination. That's a contamination. So Grihastha ashram also, like how the animals are gets crowded. So similarly, during the rainy season, the family members, like they are together, they can't go out. And we know, of course, in Kali Yuga, like what and all will happen if the family members live together. If they don't keep Krishna in the center, so we don't know. So what and all will happen? Like at least previous times they were living in unity. At least so for example, if they want to watch television, they all sit together. They watch television. Nowadays we can't find unity in watching television also. Everybody have a smartphone, so they live in separate rooms. So they don't want to live together, basically, actually. Because if they live together, some argument comes, and then so misunderstanding comes, and then fight comes. So we know that. So unless we don't keep Krishna in the center, so it's very difficult. So to keep family members together. So and then so the four analogies given in the first two lines. So that's all meant for each and every ashram. For example, brahmacharis. So brahmacharis means clearance of the clouds in the sky. So clearance of the clouds in the sky is compared to the removal of troublesome duties in brahmachari's life. So like how during rainy season we already discussed how he has to collect water, he has to collect wood, he had to beg some alms and all those things. So the rainy season, they can't fulfill their duty. Therefore, so there is a contamination. So, like as autumn season comes, just like how the clouds are getting cleared. So, in fact, yeah. So this is regarding brahmacharis and gragasthas. Second analogy is gragasthas for gragasthas for how the animals are like living together during rainy season. But as soon as autumn season arrives, so they can go to their respective places. So they can go to the field. So similarly, like householders, they always harassed by the family responsibilities. There are so many duties, there's so many requirements. So wife has so many requirements, children have so many requirements. So the father and the head of the family always in trouble, always in anxiety. So we know how Prahlad Maharaj also says, Sada Samudviknadiyam Asad Grahat. So the Asad Grahat, the Graha, there will be anxiety. Tatsadumanya Asaravariyadegina Sada Samudvikradiyam Asad Grahat Itvatmapadam Grahamanta Kupam Vanam Gadoya Tarima Shayed. So living a Grahamedi life without keeping Krishna in the center, it's like falling in a dark well. So it's very difficult. So like although they can shout, but still no one can hear, no one can save them. So like how the people are getting harassed by the family responsibilities, family duties, but if they take to Krishna consciousness, so if they keep Krishna in the center, so they don't feel like that. So and then like they can have more time for spiritual practices together. How the Srila Prabhupada also discusses this in the 13th chapter, 8th sloka to 12th sloka. Although Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that sloka, Putra Dara Grihadishu, that sloka, Amanitam Adampitam, that sloka it comes. One should be detached from wife and children. Krishna says. So one should be detached. One should be detached from his wife and children. Then Prabhupada reconciles in the purport. So detaching from wife and children is not practical. Affection for wife and children is natural. So don't have to get detached. But so instead of getting detached completely, so we need to keep Krishna in the center. And then Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada also recommends 4 activities. How the family members all should come together and then read Bhagavad Gita together. That's one thing. And then chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. That's a second thing. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And chant Hare Krishna Mantra and worship the deity together and render some service to Krishna together. So those 4 things Prabhupada recommends. So if they keep Krishna in the center, they don't have to get detached. And then regarding Vanaprasthas, like how the removal of the muddy layer. So the muddy layer is there. So when the autumn season comes, slowly the dryness increases. The dryness of the earth increases. So easy to walk. So in the muddy layer of when the muddy layer of the earth is there, it's very difficult to walk. Maybe it's slippery. So similarly, in the Vanaprastha ashram also, there are so many difficulties. So like we'll discuss what are the challenges in each and every ashram. So And then, so the automatically the inconveniences or inauspiciousness or contamination in following Vanaprastha ashram gets removed. So this autumn season is like a devotional service. Autumn season is compared with the devotional service. That we should remember always. And then sannyas ashram. So the sannyas ashram, how the rainy season, like you can see this, and the color, the water color is like completely muddy during the rainy season. But in the autumn season, so all the dirty particles on top layer get sedimented. So you can see a clear water. So in the top layer, you can see a clear water. The water color changes. During rainy season, water color will be different. The autumn season, water color will be different. So the water gets purified. Similarly, the sun is compared to sannyas ashram. So sannyas ashram, if they travel every town and village, if they preach the glories of the holy name, glories of the Lord, then they can easily overcome lusty desires. So all the impurities gets removed. So this is about sannyasis. Yeah, this is a small. So now we can discuss how, like you might have heard from many Srila Prabhupada's statements and lectures, and then like what are the rules? So can anyone say like some of the rules for being an ideal brahmachari? For being ideal brahmachari, like whatever you remember, you can say what are the rules one must follow. Anyone wants to try?
Serving his Guru, Prabhuji.
Serving his Guru. Okay. So there are some of the rules and regulations which are applicable even today, even in Kali Yuga, which is possible to do. But many of the rules and regulations, maybe you could say 80%, 90% of the rules and regulations, it is very difficult to follow in Kali Yuga. For example, Maharaj always tells this example. Like brahmachari means brahmachari gurukule vasandandan gurohitam. That sloka he quotes. And then he tells brahmachari should not eat if the spiritual master does not give permission. If the spiritual master does not give permission to brahmachari to eat, the brahmachari should fast. That day, brahmachari should fast. Any brahmachari is following this rule now? This is very difficult to follow. So then brahmachari, like whether spiritual master eats or not eats, he will take prasadam time to on time. So and another, like these are some of the difficult rules and regulations. There are many rules and regulations, of course, discussed in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam from chapter 11 to chapter 15. So because Yudhishthira Maharaj asks details about Varna Shabdharma to Narada Muni. So Narada Muni explains like about all the Varnas and all the ashramas. So first he explains all the Varnas, and then he explains all the ashramas also. Brahmacharis, sannyasis. First he explains about brahmacharis and vanaprasthas, and then separate chapter, that is in 12th chapter, 7th canto 12th chapter, brahmacharis and vanaprasthas, and 13th chapter fully about sannyasis, and 14th chapter is fully about grihasthas. So ideal householder, an ideal sannyasi, ideal brahmachari, ideal grihastha. So for example, some of the regulations for being ideal brahmachari. So early morning and evening, he should worship spiritual master, fire, sun god, Vishnu. He should study Vedic mantras regularly, should dress with the belt of a straw, with the deerskin garments, matted hair, carry a rod, water pot, sacred thread. So brahmachari means he should dress only with the belt of straw and with deerskin garments, which is not possible now. So if we wear deerskin garments, maybe we'll get arrested by police. Where did you get deerskin? So like that. And then should go out morning and evening to collect alms and offer to spiritual master. He should eat only on the order of Guru. So he's quite well behaved and gentle. He should not eat more than necessary. So, but we always take a big feast. Whenever the festival comes, we take feast. So, and always be active and expert, should associate with women only as much as necessary, must rigidly avoid talking with women and about women, senses may agitate even the mind of sannyasi. So like that, so many rules and regulations, all the rules and regulations apply for being an ideal brahmachari. So it's very difficult to follow now. Of course, some of the rules and regulations we can follow. So the thing is that, so if we don't establish relationship with Krishna, then these rules and regulations appear very difficult. But if we apply relationship with Krishna, Krishna gives intelligence. Which one can be followed now? So which one is difficult to follow? Of course, under the guidance of spiritual master, under the guidance of senior devotees, we can always clarify. So, and then so we can try to follow some of the principles. So, and then about Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means one should go to the forest and live in the forest. So it's very difficult because Prabhupada always tells in Bhāgavatam, now Vanaprasthas don't have to go to the forest. Better you can come to Vrindavan or Mayapur. We have got a place like that. It's very difficult. And then you should eat only fruit ripened by sunshine. You should eat fruit only ripened by sunshine. And then you should prepare cakes to be offered in sacrifice from fruits and grains. From fruits and grains, you should prepare cake. You should offer in the sacred fire. So you should wear matted locks of hair. You should not cleanse his body of dirt. You should not take bath. You should keep a water pot, deerskin rod. Should remain in the forest for 12 years. 12 years he should live in the forest. So it's very difficult. So, and then Vanaprastha, Grahasthashram. Grahasthashram, like we know, Maharaj frequently gives this example. Ideal Grahastha means he should prepare bhoga and then he should offer to Krishna, and then he should feed prasadam for all the guests. First all the guests, then after all the guests fed, then immediately he should come out, then he should clap his hand. Anybody is here is hungry? If anybody is here hungry, please come and have prasadam. And then he should see that all the cockroaches and all the lizards and all the rats, all the ants in the house are fed nicely. So, there are so many living inside the house also. So we must feed them also. Ideal Grihastha means like that only. So nowadays, so very difficult to follow all the rules and regulations. So it's very important. Nowadays, it's difficult to cook for ourselves. We are all, because we are just cooking fast food, no time to eat, no time to cook, no time to offer, we offer some fruits and milk and then we are going to the office. It's very difficult. So where is the time to feed the guest? So because Prabhupada always quotes this example. When I was a small child, minimum 4 guests comes every day. So my mother and father used to feed them Krishna Prasadam. Minimum 4 guests, at least 4 guests. So that's the ideal Grihastha. And then now who is coming out of the house and clapping their hand? So difficult. So we know, so by experience and also by the carefully following the guidance of spiritual master and the senior devotees, so we can easily discriminate which is applicable now in Kali Yuga and which is not applicable. So this should be done only with the guidance of spiritual master. And then duties of sannyas. So we all know sannyasi should not cross ocean. But Prabhupada as a sannyasi, he crossed the ocean. So sannyas should renounce all material connections, travel from place to place. Sannyas should avoid even to dress. If you want to wear, it should be only lion cloth. So brahmachari means deer skin. Sannyasi means lion cloth. So he should live on begged alms. He should always be a friendly well-wisher to all the living entities. He should always try to see the universe in the Lord. During deep sleep, dreaming, waking, he should try to understand the self. So then So like that, he must not present material allurements to gather many disciples, nor should he be read many books, give discourses as a means of livelihood. So many rules and regulations. So very difficult. And then again in separate chapters. So this is all the rules and regulations for being ideal grahastha, ideal brahmachari, ideal vanaprastha, ideal sannyas. So it's very difficult to follow. But as per Jiva Goswami, so as Srila Jiva Goswami quotes the sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 11.20.9. So he quotes one beautiful sloka. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkata shravana adava shraddha yavanna jayate. Beautiful sloka, it's 11.20.9. So it comes in Uddhava Gita. So he says, Bhakti to Krishna alone can purify all the inauspiciousness of all the ashramas. So, because all the ashramas have so many difficulties, challenges in performing the prescribed duties. So the translation says, as long as one does not become detached from daily periodic duties and one has not awakened his faith in hearing topics about me, one must perform one's prescribed duties of Varnashrama. So although in Srimad Bhagavatam, many places, in even Narada Muni conversation with Vyasadeva, I think the 5th chapter, 1st canto. So we know the famous sloga, Tektva Sudharmam Saranabhujahare Bhajanna Bhakko Deyare Trakvabhadra Abhuttamashkim Govarta Abdu Bhajadam Sudharmadaha. And also 11th canto, you can see the verse Devashi Bhuta Vrina Pitrinam Nakingaro Nai Munisarajan Sarvatmanaya Saranam Saranyam Kadobugundam Parikritya Kartam. How there are so many depths are there, like to the devas, to rishis, and other living entities, and human beings, and pitrus. There are 5. Therefore, every grahastha should perform Pancha Mahayagnya. They should do sacrifice for liquidate the debt. But as soon as one surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna, so all the debts can be liquidated automatically. So that's a sloka. Sarvatmanaya Saranam Saranyam Kadomugundam Parikritya Karta. So the other meaning of the sloka is, so as long as we don't surrender to Krishna fully, we need to perform the prescribed duties of Varnashram Dharma. So that's a meaning. So this explanation given by Srila Jiva Goswami. And then Srila Sridhar Swami also gives a very nice example. So how brahmachari means carrying a water for guru. It's very difficult, causes unhappiness. For a sannyasi, material desires, controlling material desires is very difficult. Because in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, don't take premature renunciation. So Krishna chastises Arjuna. Because if you take premature renunciation, what will happen? You will become Midhyachari. You will become pretender. So later, very difficult to control your senses. So externally, you will pose yourself as sannyasi, but you will be contemplating on sense objects. So therefore, you do your prescribed duty, purify yourself, and then later you can take sannyas, of course. So we know Arjuna is a eternal associate of the Lord. But still, Krishna wants to set example through Arjuna. And then how Vanaprasthas have a trouble of, householders have a trouble of combination of offspring and wife and demands of the offspring, demands of the wife, and so a lot of challenges. And then they have to perform all the rituals for the children and for the pitrus. For the forefathers, they have to perform Shraddha's rites. And for the newborn children, they have to perform so many rituals. For that, we have to invite so many guests. So a lot of funds are required. So many challenges. So it brings unhappiness, of course. So then Jiva Goswami writes, so the bhakti does not destroy ashramas, but the only difficulties in certain duties. Bhakti only removes the difficulties and certain duties. Bhakti purifies. The element of bhakti is purifies the inauspiciousness or contamination in not following the particular ashrama perfectly. In Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to follow the particular ashrama perfectly. But if we practice bhakti, if we take up Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so we try our best to follow particular whichever ashrama we are in. So we try our best to follow, but it is impossible to follow all the rules and regulations of particular ideal state of a particular ashrama. So it's impossible. Therefore, so the bhakti can purify. So like bhakti does not destroy the ashrama. So it's a very important point here. So we should not immaturely think that, oh, if we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we don't have to follow any rules and regulations. So like we can be a free bird like that. We don't have to follow any rules and regulations. Only chanting Hare Krishna is enough. So we don't have to follow rules and regulations of brahmachari and grahastha and vanapastha sannyas. So we can get married and then we can take next day we can take sannyas. so like that you cannot do whimsically. So that's a very important. Bhakti does not destroy ashrama, but bhakti destroys the difficulties in certain duties. Because there are some rules and regulations and duties which are difficult to follow. So in that place, bhakti substitutes. Bhakti can purify. Just like Sukracharya's chanting the mantra, you know that mantradas santradas santram deshakala tavastudaga sarvam karodi nischitram anusangitram tava. So if you do sacrifice, there are so many like faults may be there in mantras and tantras and time, place, circumstances. And there are so many faults, but all the faults, like if you chant Hare Krishna mantra, so like it can substitute. So the whole sacrifice can become perfect. So just like that. So bhakti can destroy the difficulties in certain duties, but bhakti does not destroy the ashram. So it's a very important point. So the devotional service can purify all the contaminations of all the ashramas. So that's a lesson we can take from this verse. And also, like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also writes in his commentary how bhakti can be arised only through devotional association, only through devotees. And bhakti removes the suffering of brahmachari. So brahmachari means he has to undergo humbly serving a guru by herding cows and other menial acts. So he may perform so many menial acts. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, by after some time, so the spiritual master can see the spiritual advancement of a disciple, and then he can give some higher responsibility, some higher service. So he don't ask him to do some menial service. And similarly, bhakti can remove the suffering of grahastha experience by associating with the family members. So we know like all domestic duties, shraddha rites, and so many things. So the autumn season removes all the suffering. The rainy season, all the difficulty comes. So none of the ashram people, they can't fulfill their duty properly. So vanapasthas, they cannot do any sacrifice. Sannyasis cannot travel from place to place. Grahasthas cannot do their duty. And brahmacharis cannot collect alms. So this is the contamination. How the autumn season comes, they can start performing duty. Similarly, so if we practice bhakti, it can purify all the difficulties, challenges in each and every ashrama. So, and then bhakti removes suffering of vanaprastha. So vanaprastha, like how autumn season dries up the mud from the earth, because they cover so their body so with some whatever with the earth, so like they don't dress opulently, they live in the forest. And sannyasi means they always like they take so much trouble because if he's not a Vaishnava sannyasi, so then he is he may be a karma sannyasi or mayavadi sannyasi, whatever, ekadandi sannyasi or mayavadi sannyasis. They generally try to meditate on impersonal Brahman. So therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 12.5, Klesho klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta saktateshata. So the path of Jnana Yoga is very troublesome. The path of meditation on impersonal movement is troublesome. It's very painful. Even Brahmaji also offers his prayer, beautiful prayer in 10th canto, I think 14th chapter, 4th sloka. Shreyasudim bhakti mudashyate vipo klishyanti ye kevala bodha labdaye teshamaso kleshalaye vasishyade nanyatyadastu latu sabhagadinam. So very beautiful sloka. Brahmaji says, Shreyasidim bhakti mudasyate vibhur. Klishyantiye kevala bodh. Bhakti is so easy to perform, so blissfully, joyfully can be performed. So one can easily achieve the highest perfection. But kleshamaso kleshala eva sishyate. Klesha means suffering. So if we take up the Jnana Yoga process, very, very difficult. It's just like beating an empty husk. So Brahmaji gives this analogy, beating the empty husk. The husk already, grain is removed. Grain is taken away already. So simply another person comes without knowing, he takes all the husk and then beats repeatedly, nothing will come out. So their only gain is the pain of hard labor. So therefore, in the first canto also we discuss Adab Pumbi Dhisasteshta Karna Varnash Vibhagashaga Sonusthitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. The main purpose of following Varnash Dharma is to please Supreme Lord Krishna. And also Dharmas Sonusthitapumsam Visvakshira Kadasaya Notpadet Yadridim Samayevi Kevalam. If that's not the endeavor is not to please Krishna, then it's like a useless level. Even perfectly following all the ideal brahmachari rules and ideal grahastha rules, ideal vanaprastha rules, ideal sannyasi rules is all useless, waste of time and waste of labor. It does not provoke attraction to the message of Krishna. So we should understand this very nicely from Srimad Bhagavatam, from senior devotees and the spiritual master. Hare Krishna. So I like to end here. So 10 minutes are there. Any comments? Any comments? Any questions?
Prabhu, thank you for this session. Actually, a lot of the rules that you mentioned are some of them especially were very new or heard for the first time. And one thing that logically I couldn't understand is, wearing the deer skin or the lion skin. Right? All the scriptures say no animal killing, but is there a logical reason or explanation why it has to be animal skin that needs to be worn?
So this is all like not in Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ashwamedham Kavalambam Sannyasam Balapaitrikam. So this kind of animal sacrifice is not recommended. But in the Vedic tradition, the Vedic system, animal sacrifice was recommended. But there were powerful brahmanas. So if they sacrifice an animal, then they can award a new human life for them. For example, horse is sacrificed, they can get a new human life. The brahmanas are so powerful. So we don't have that kind of powerful brahmanas. Therefore, animal sacrifice is not recommended. So similarly, in those ages, so even in the Kshatriyas are allowed to hunt for the animals, because if they want to train themselves, because they have to go to fight in the battlefield. So for that they take some training. So they were given permission to kill the animals, Kshatriyas. So similarly, there are some sastric injunctions are there. So according to sastric injunctions, in those times, in the Vedic culture, it was allowed, but not now, not in Kali Yuga. Okay, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Like I already mentioned, if you wear deer skin or lion cloth, immediately you will get arrested. So that means you killed some lion or deer like that. Yeah. Yes, any other question? So basically the lesson is we have to, we should understand that it's very difficult to follow all the rules and regulations of all the ashramas. So like we try our best. So, and then we have to adopt the process of devotional service. So chanting Hare Krishna mantra and reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Shravanam Kirtanam, mainly Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, Idi Pumsharpida Vishnu, Bhaktische Navalakshana, Kriye the Bhagavad Yattatta, Tanmanye Bhagavad Uttamam. That's why, like, so all these 9 types of devotional service, this only can purify our consciousness and quickly can purify our consciousness. And then quickly we can achieve the ultimate perfection of human life. So that's mentioned by Srila Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto. So we need to adopt, so we need to keep Krishna in the center. That's why Srila Prabhupada also introduced Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. So Daiva Varnashrama Dharma means keep Krishna in the center and follow whatever rules applicable right now. So you follow all the rules and regulations. So based on the guidance of senior devotees and spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If there is no question, can we end, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your time and the wonderful session, Prabhu. So Prabhuji came here even in his tight schedule because of obeying Maharaj words. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all very much for a wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakudi Vaishnava Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.